Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 55 of Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we're going to make letter beads so that you can put words on charms or on your projects. And so I'm just going to show you how I was making these. So to start off with, you just need some chipboard, and I cut straight across the top so that I knew that my lines at that point would be straight. And I'm going to have to turn it. Let's see. This side is not straight. And I cut the top and the bottom, and so those are both straight. And I did my beads a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. So you can make them any size that you want to. I just thought that with the size of the letters in my Wordfind book, that would be a nice size to make. So the first thing is just cut a 1/2 inch strip. And that did not want to cut very well, so let's do that again. I think my problem was I was just going back and forth, but wasn't pushing down hard enough. Oh yeah, that feels much better. And with the chipboard, you do have to go back and forth a few times because it is so heavy. And to me, this does not look completely straight, so I am now going to cut another one that I know, because I just cut a straight line, then I know that this one will be straight. And because you're going to glue a few of them together, it's best to have them all, have your sizes exact. And then all you need to do then is I line it up anywhere on the board on a line that's going across to make sure that I have it straight. And then I just line it up with the 1/2 inch mark and hold it down. And there we go. Now we have a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch square. So I just cut quite a few of those. And then what I did was I glued 2 of them together. Now a good thing that I did not do, but it would be better if you did do it, is before you cut your chipboard, sand your shiny side off, because it doesn't glue as well. And I did not do that, and so I just wanted to let you know that I didn't, so that if that they don't stick real well, that's why. So what I did was I cut a bunch of these, and then I just glued 2 of them together and put them in a book and let them dry. You're going to want to let them dry really well before you make your beads out of them. And then once they're dry, 2 layers thick, and the thing is, you don't actually have to do 2 layers thick. You could actually just do 1 layer and 1 layer, and that would work out. That would work out fine too. It just would not be as thick in depth because it would only be 2 layers of cardboard instead of 4. And then I just take a piece of wire, and I use my beading pliers to get the bend in my bead before I glue it. That way it's going to stick together much better, because there's no force against the bend once you get it. If you bend it first before you try and push it around your wire. So basically, I just go to where I feel like is the middle of my, you can measure it exactly if you want to, and then I just bend it up. So now I have a bend right in the middle, just like that. And that is where my wire's going to sit. Now, if I had 2 of these, they would just come together like this. And that's not a really great way to do it. So we want to bend these sides so that they touch each other like that. So we have our V like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just go about halfway between our line where our wire will go and our outside edge, and bend that back. And go to the other side and go about halfway and bend it back. So now what you have kind of looks a little bit like a bird. It looks kind of like it has wings. See how that separated just a little bit right there? And that's because I didn't sand my cardboard. But this is what it looks like. So you've got the spot in the middle where your wire goes. Your wire will sit right here. And then they come down a little bit and goes out flat. So when you put 2 of them together, they're going to fit together a lot better. So I'm going to fold another one in the middle, fold this side back, come over here, find out where my middle fold is, and then move over a little bit and fold this side back. And there we go. Again, that one kind of looks like that. And then you just take one and put it underneath of your wire. And then you're going to put glue just on the two sides so that you have your hole in the middle stays open. So we're going to put that, see, and now we've got that little gap. It's not going to be that big once we squish it together. And that's why we have the wire in there, to make sure that we don't squish it together completely and lose our hole. And then we're just going to squish it and squish it until the glue kind of holds on, and then just continue making as many as we want to make. And then just leave them on the wire. I just do one and then I do another and another till I run out of room on my wire, and then set them aside to dry. So I've got these 4 here that are already dry, and what you do next is you want to sand the edges. So I just will need to get a piece of sandpaper. Excuse me. Okay, so then we're just going to go ahead, and when you sand, you want to sand with the edge. Don't go back and forth this way, because that will want to pry your cardboard apart. So you want to go the long way until you get it sanded. And I just go back and forth like this and kind of check it. The better you sand it, the more smooth this side will be, and the layers of cardboard basically kind of disappear. So like here you can see all the layers, but here it kind of looks like a solid piece. Once I get it sanded how I want it, then I do kind of drag this side like that, and then turn it over and drag this side like that. And that just kind of, and then that just kind of makes sure that like the edges, this flat part and the other edge, that they're clear. Now when you sand the side where your wire went through, sometimes your hole will fill up. And it's just filling up with the sanding dust. So basically, you know, you've got your little bit of a bump here. I have a piece of glue on there. You have your little piece of a bump here. So you know that your hole is right there. And you can just take your wire and find that spot. And just put your wire right back in there. And you know it's right lining up right where that bump comes out. And so that's where your hole is. You're going to do all 4 sides. And once you get the whole thing sanded, then you're going to decide what you want to do as far as painting it goes. You can paint it with paint. You can put your wax paints on it. You can do whatever you'd like for your color. I made some with fingernail polish just because I thought that that would be nice and shiny. And so I have some here, and I just painted them. I paint the edges first and then both flat sides, and in 2 coats of it, because otherwise you can see the cardboard through, but that's what it looks like. And then on this one I did, after I did the 2 coats and the edges, I put kind of, not super heavy, but a little bit of a heavy coat of nail polish, and then a heavy or a drop of another color, and then just easily, or you know, just slowly kind of just mixed it a little bit. You don't want to mix it till it turns into mud. It's kind of hard to see what it looks like without it shining too much. And that's why I wanted the nail polish, because it does shine so pretty. I've got another one here that I did, and this one I did with the kind of a blue and purple. And then I just marbled it like that. And that's what they look like. And Papa just rang his bell, so I'll be back in just a second, and I'll show you how to paint them and do the marbling. Okay, I'm back. And so now I'm just gonna go ahead and paint. This is the one that I sanded, so I'm gonna put it back on my wire. And Then I'm going to go ahead and paint it. Don't forget to sand. Sometimes I forget. That's got a piece of little glue sticking out right there. Sometimes I forget to sand it before I paint it. And then the edges don't look as nice. So don't forget to do that. And like I said, you can choose anything that you want to paint it with. I just thought today I'm just in the mood to use the fingernail polish. And I always forget, do the edges first, because when you do the edges, it gets the fingernail polish on both sides. So if you've already done this, if you've already done the flat sides, and then you do the edges, then that nail polish gets on where you've already done it. And you have to go over it again, but you know, with nail polish, you're supposed to let it dry, but it bumps up, so you have to go over it to get rid of the high spots. So do the edges first, and then do your flat sides. Let it dry. Be patient. I'm always impatient. That's the only thing about using nail polish for me. I'm impatient, and I always want to like put a second coat on before it's actually dry. And so there we go. And then what I do is, because the reason that I have some kind of a flat spot here, I just kind of roll it up or whatever. In order to let it dry, I just take a book and just set a book on the counter, a nice kind of a fat book, so that I can put this towards the top. And I just stick this in between a few pages. Here, I've got a dictionary here. Let me show you. Okay, so you've got your book, and then you just stick that nice flat part, and that flat part holds it from moving. And you just stick it in your book like that, and then just set your book down. Of course, you'll have however many on there, and then just set your book aside, and that lets them dry. That gives you a good place to hold it. So, and then we're going to pretend that this is dry and has a second coat on it, and I will show you how I do the marbling. And I just have one of my stir sticks here. And so what we're going to do, let me shake up my purple. I really like the blue and the purple together. It looks so pretty. Okay, so then you're going to take your first color and put a pretty heavy coat, because you want something that where they can mix together and marble together. So put quite a bit on there. Now this marbling effect takes a while to dry because it's so thick. And then I just take my other color. I don't wipe it off at all, and I just put one drip. And that was even a really big drip. It shouldn't have been quite that big. You don't want too much, because you do want to be able for both colors to show through. And then you want to, if you don't have fingernail polish remover, which I don't have because I don't wear fingernail polish, wipe whatever you're using, wipe it off right away. So, but there we've got the marbled effect between the blue and the purple. And if you feel like that's very, very purple. And so I am going to wipe this down just a little bit. You have to have some on there to drip. I guess that one's more empty than the other one. There we go. I just put just a little drop in the middle, which is what I should have done with the purple. You just kind of pull it out a little bit. A little bit to come this way. There we go. Now that looks nice and marbled. And I know with the shine it's hard to see. I do apologize. But that looks much prettier. And then again, stick it in your book and let it dry. Now something like that, when you do the marbling, you really should probably let it dry overnight. So once we get our beads all made and we get them all painted, then we can go to our word find book and just take a page out. And what I did was I tried to find a page where the page behind it was not something that I was going to be sad that I lost. And then I just cut it. Originally, I cut it with my trimmer, but I find, because I thought, well, if I cut them out with scissors, I'll cut them all crooked because I'm no good at cutting straight lines. But it really, I wanted them smaller than what I cut them on my, there's my scissors, smaller than what I cut them on my trimmer. So I just wound up using my scissors to cut them. So you can do it either way. And then all you're going to do is just decide whatever letter that you need. Let's just cut this D out. And you're just going to cut around it and try and have about the same amount of white around the edge on all of your 4 sides, and then on however many letters that you're using. And we just cut them out like that. Then what I do is I take them, well, let's just take that one right there. Put them on a piece of your parchment. Use your clear fingernail polish. And don't overdo, but just give it a little clear coat, because that will make the paper in itself just a little bit stronger. Because if you're going to put this bead on a necklace or something, you know, you want it to be, you don't want it to be just a piece of paper with nothing over it. And you don't want it to smear or anything. So you're just going to go ahead and, but you have to do it on the parchment, or otherwise it'll kind of glue itself to whatever you paint it on. If you paint it on just paper, just put a quick coat on there like that. And then what I do is I slide it out away from where I just painted it, so that the extra that's here doesn't kind of glue it down. And now I just let it sit there and dry. Some of them, if they have something behind them, that shows through a bit, especially when you paint it. But once it dries, then it doesn't hardly show through at all. It may show through just a little bit. Here is an E, and you can kind of see right up there in that corner, there's a little something from the other side. But it doesn't really show through much. It doesn't seem to affect it, you know, anything that I've done. It doesn't affect it too much. So once you get your letters covered and then you let them dry, then you're just going to put them on your beads. And make sure that your beads have dried. Originally, I glued them down when I was trying these and testing them. I glued it down with clear fingernail polish. I did it with this one right here. And what happened was it took the fingernail polish that was on there, because I'm sure it wasn't probably totally dry, and it pulled that up into my letters. And so, like, here's the J. And see how it's really dark behind? And that's because it pulled the color right up off of that bead. So, and I also edged this one in purple. You can edge them in any color that you want to. I kind of like, with this color green, I like the green color to edge it with. And I thought that that looks quite pretty. So I am going to, I lost one here. Here is one that I did that's edged in the green. It gives it a little bit of edging, but it doesn't distract too much. Now this one here that I did, this one I edged with black. And it has a darker background, so the black kind of helps it blend in a little bit. And I did the letters love, and so all you have to do, just like edging anything else, is just draw around the edges. Whoops. And you can hold them with one of your pokey tool screwdrivers. I'm using my large flat edge because it might get some fingernail polish on it that won't come off if I don't wipe it off right away. And I don't want it to ruin my Phillips actual pokey tools. So there we go. Whoops. I'm not doing very good with that. So now I've gone around the edges of the L, And I don't think that I like doing it with the clear fingernail polish because of the fact that it pulled off that fingernail polish before. So I think just a little bit of your tacky glue, which does dry clear and also disappears when you, there we go, when you set it down and don't pay attention. Now, oh, these ones I've wanted to show you, I did these on an angle. So I made them diamonds instead of squares. And the way that I did that, let's see, where are my, oh, here's my extra. So I have them, like I said, 2 pieces glued together. And then I just took my, and because my, I want to call them tweezers. They're not tweezers. Because my pliers don't reach all the way across, I'm just putting it right here from the point and then pointed right towards that point and just give it a bend and then come over to the other point. And you want to be right next to the point. If you're right on the point, it will bend over. If you're right next to the point, then it's going, when you push it down, it's going to bend right on that point. And so there we go. Now we've got this bend in the middle, just like that, where our wire will go. And then just like the others, take the points and bend that one back. And bend that one back. And now again, just like the other one, it looks like this, where you've got, it's mountain there and then flat over here. And then just glue them together exactly the same way as the others. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my, now you can cut your letters in any way that you want to. I could have cut them in a diamond, which I didn't want to do because I wanted to put them this way, then this way, then this way, then this way from the square position. So I'm going to stick this one right on here, and I'm putting this on my solid green side, but you also can put it on the marbled also. The first couple that I showed you, these ones were on the marbled side, and they look really pretty on the marbled side too. But I'm not sure why. I just decided that I wanted to put this on the flat side, and then you can see what it looks like when it's on the flat color instead of the marbled color. So we'll just do, I'll do the O, so the, and these have already been painted with the clear fingernail polish. I just don't want to glue them on with the clear fingernail polish because I had that problem when I did the last one, and sorry about that, my phone rang. So I was just saying that I decided to glue these on because I had a problem with the last one, and I'm not exactly sure. These have not sat overnight, so I'm not real sure exactly how dry they are. So I would prefer not to put the fingernail polish on there and have it pull up the color. Okay, so I got the L going that way, so then I want the O to go this way. I'm going to use my, well, what did I do with it? I just lose everything constantly. Here it is. Okay, I'm just going to use my little screwdriver here to put that right where I want it. Okay, and if you touch it like that when you've got the glue on it, make sure you get the glue off your fingers before you touch it again, so that you don't transfer the glue from your finger onto the top of your letter. So there's our L going that way and our O going this way. So then I'm going to put the V like this. And then finally the E. Oops, I forgot to spread my glue around. Put the E here going this way. Get that glue off my fingers. And there we go. Okay, so now you can hang that from a dangle. You can put wire through it and put the wire through a page on a book. You can do anything that you would do with letter beads, even though these aren't small and square. I like the looks of these better. Mostly I think because I used the small square ones when I was a kid. And sometimes, you know, it's like, well, I need something a little different. And these are handmade. So that is how our beads turn out. And on this one, I would just put them straight across. And, you know, I really love the marbled side. That looks so pretty. So I think that I would still put my letters, or I would just marble. Maybe I'll marble this side also and put some letters on there. But you can always make a bunch of these up ahead of time. You can use them just like this. This looks really pretty. That would make a really pretty bracelet. Put a bunch of those together with maybe a little spacer bead between them. Maybe one of the little plastic roll beads that we made would look really pretty with that. But you can make a bunch ahead of time. You don't have to put the letters on them until you decide what word that you want. You know, you're going to do a project, and more with the ones that I think are straight. You could do it with these too, but with the straight ones, you know, you could spell out someone's name and make a bracelet, or make a necklace and, you know, put your cording right through there. So, but I just think they turn out really, really pretty. And like I said, I could have cut these diamond shaped so that they were all straight up and down. But I just kind of liked it this way. And, you know, sometimes I just like things to be different, so. But I hope that you enjoyed those. I'm going to have to take the camera down to show you what we'll need for next week. So I will be back in just 1 second. Okay, so for next week, we have $19 in our bank as of today. So we'll take our $5 from next week, and that will leave us with $24. And so what we're going to do is we are going to get this amazing mold putty for $17 at Walmart with free pickup. And then we are also, to go along with that, going to get this 8-ounce package of white Sculpey for $7. That will be the whole $24 that we have, so we'll have to start adding to our bank again the next time. But I was trying to save up enough during the year to do this at the end of last year, because I think that this amazing mold putty is just wonderful. So, but you can go ahead and you can get, this is Polyfoam Sculpey 3, 8 ounces of white at Walmart for $7. And then you can also get the amazing mold putty kit, and that is $16.95 at Walmart with free shipping, or free pickup. So that's what we're going to get for next week. And so here are our beads from this week. I hope that you like these. I hope you enjoyed them, and I'd like to see what kind of spin you put on them. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.